Hey guys, Alex here, otherwise known as Clash with Style. Welcome back to this video where we are going to be taking a look at this insanely close Blitzkrieg war between EvolveYourGame, my family, and Huts of War. You can see EYG did manage to just clutch up that win, 95.7 against 95.4. So this one certainly came down to the wire, and we're going to be jumping in and checking out these sweet triples from both sides in today's video. So let's jump in and check out the action. Alright, so the first attack we are going to be taking a look at does come in from Welbs, who is a good friend of mine. He is the leader of Crowned Eagles, which I am a part of. I play competitively with Crowned Eagles, and yeah, they are a part of EYG. So Welbs and a couple other members, I believe, from EYG took part, from Crowned Eagles, sorry, took part in this Blitzkrieg war. But you can see coming in here with a Yeti bow bat attack. Now, this is one of Welbs' favourite. He's been trying to experiment a little bit with Lalo, but he's been pretty consistently getting 1-stars in his Lalo attack, so he decided maybe to go back to his roots, something that he knows a little bit better, and that is indeed Yeti bow bat. So he's going to start over here on that right hand side of the base with a Grand Warden Walk. He does drop in a couple of sneakies and a Yeti from that top section of the base. Bringing in a baby dragon as well. That's going to be used just to try and snipe off some of these structures. King going to be swinging in right there, and in come those Yetis. Wallwrecker coming on through as well. Bowlers swinging on through. Nearly lost that Grand Warden's ability really early on, and that certainly wouldn't have been what he was looking for. Without having that Grand Warden ability to push them through into the middle, certainly could have been a bit of a different story here for Welbs. He doesn't quite catch all of his troops in that Eternal Tome ability, but he certainly catches a good few. He did have to drop that Eternal Tome slightly earlier than he probably wanted, because that Inferno Tower, I believe, or whatever it was, Town Hall, I'm not sure, something locked on to the wall wrecker, and it nearly went down much earlier than he would have wanted. But luckily he gets into that main compartment and he is able to get the value that he was looking from it. So he continues to push on through here. You can see his queen doing some really nice work in the middle of the base, and his bats now start to work their way in. Now he needs to make sure he gets these free spells down at the correct time. He misses. Oh, slightly delayed on that free spell right there, which means we do lose quite a large group of those bats. Unfortunately, we do have, luckily, an Ice Golem to tank for this last Wizard Tower right here, and we still have our RC doing some work. That's going to push out through the back end of this base. The Ice Golem luckily tanking for some of our bats down here at the bottom section of the base. We need our queen to maybe step up here, snipe off this last Wizard Tower. Can she do it? Yes, she can, which means these bats are able to fully clean up the back end of this base. So this was slightly closer than Welbs was probably looking for, but the bats got some really nice value on the back end, even after him missing that first free spell. So we'll just speed this one up to finish up. You can see still got that queen and the RC. The king actually still alive down there on the bottom section of the base, and that is a nice way to kick off this video. So let's jump in and we'll check out one of their triples in this war. Alright, so here we go. Next attack going to be coming in from MNXA. I assume that's Russian or something, not too sure how to pronounce that, but they are going to be coming in against Jason, who is one of the code leaders in All Hail, who I've been covering a little bit of content of recently. I had some Town Hall 11 content, I believe, some of their strategies up on the channel, so make sure you guys jump in and check them out if you haven't already. All Hail is one of my favourite, don't tell the others, EYG clans, and yeah, they are always happy to provide me with loads of content, so big shout out to these guys. MN here does have to drop that queen's ability really early on in this attack, and that queen I don't think is actually going to go into this town hall compartment. Is going to catch a Seeking Airmine there, missed on that Kokoloon, and wow, this is not the strongest start to a hybrid attack, but hybrid incredibly strong in the meta right now. Unfortunately, you can see those healers will be in range of the town hall, so he's going to need to burn through a free spell, and there it goes right there, trying to keep as many of these healers alive as he possibly can. King and Siege Barracks going to be coming in now from the bottom section of the base. Actually starts his hogs earlier than I probably would have. Usually like to see the miners getting out in front because they have slightly more hit points and they can tank a little bit more than these squishy hog riders. We certainly don't want to see too much bacon on the map too early on. That queen does end up going down over on the right hand side, so this one must really clutch up here because this is not looking like the strongest attack. so far. That queen did get a little bit of value. She grabbed the clan castle troops, the town hall, but it really is up to this hybrid on the back end. Still got the double scatter shot left, one in the middle, which is going to be taken down right there. The hog raiders that come out of that siege barracks are actually going to be helping out quite significantly. We do still have that RC ability to drop as well. She's going to throw that right there as she makes her way onto the scatter shot on that left hand side. She is going to be able to take that down, which is going to really help out on the back end of this attack. But we still have so many big defenses left up. That bomb tower at the top is going to be doing some serious work there and does go down to the hogs, but not before it does some work. Wizard tower as well, trying to snipe off, but those miners pretty much one-shotting it there. And yeah, it's going to be these miners, I believe, that end up clutching up here for MNXA of Huts of War. Coming in here against Jason, who nearly brought in a 6-pack. Jason brought in a really nice triple, which we'll see later on in the video. And then he brought in a 99% time fail, which was really, really unfortunate. But luckily someone was able to replicate his plan, and they brought in the triple because it was a really good plan from Jason, so big shout out to him. But you can see MNXA does just have enough miners left up here on the back end, so even with losing that queen ability and then the queen relatively early on, he was still able to get this base smashed using hybrid. So without any further ado, we'll jump in and we'll check out the next triple. Alright, so the next triple we are going to be jumping in and taking a look at does come in from Russ of Brian Fan Club. And yeah, you guys know on this channel I cover plenty of Brian Fan Club. They always provide me with loads of content. 15, 14 Star Wars, that's just regular for them. But you can see Russ does come in here, and he was able to bring in a 6-pack in this war. So we're going to jump in and we're going to check out both of his triples today. Nice poison spell right there. And yeah, I was actually in voice call with these guys when he did that, and he was just sort of like, ah, well, yep, I've missed the headhunters with the poison. But luckily that queen ability doesn't end up going. He was able to save that queen ability from popping. Unfortunately, he doesn't now have that poison spell to get him through these lava pups, but that's not to worry. The queen will be able to slowly take them down with the help of a wizard. King now starting to make his way in from that left hand side. Actually, you got the rocker king skin going right there. I'm not the biggest fan of that skin, but obviously Russ is pushing this queen now into this single target inferno compartment. Do need to rage, and we will need to freeze up that single as well. Down it goes right there. Catches those skeletons as well, which is going to help out a little bit. Sneaking in a super wall breaker there. That's going to give this queen access into the town hall compartment. Russ does have one more super wall breaker, maybe just in case that one fails right there, but the queen does have a pretty clear path now into that town hall compartment. Kokoloon is successful as well there in grabbing one of those seeking air mines. King still doing a little bit of cleanup work over there on the left hand side, just sniping off some of those structures. Now Russ brings in those hog riders from the top section of the base. Notice no miners in this attack, so it's not a hybrid. We're just seeing a regular queen charge hog rider attack, which is throwing me back to the kind of Town Hall 9 days. I do this all the time, either with a kill squad or with a queen charge, so it's nice to see people using some different strategies in the meta right now rather than just hybrid. But Russ going to be pushing these hog riders through in the back end. That queen continuing to get some really nice value. She's going to step up there, deal with that enemy queen. Heal spell goes down for the hog riders on the back end. That's going to help them through this multi-target inferno. The queen is still going strong. Unfortunately, that eagle is still up, which is going to be doing a little bit of work to our hog riders on the back end, actually nearly taking them down with 3 shots, but luckily we get a couple of hogs pushing their way on to them. We've still got that RC ability to drop as well. A couple of wizards doing a little bit of cleanup work up there at the top section of the base, and that is going to be a really, really nice triple coming in from Russ. One of the best I have seen actually using this queen charge hog rider strategy. GG's on that one. And yeah, let's jump out and check out another one of Huts of War's triples. So even though Welbs brought in that triple at the start of this video, his base unfortunately didn't quite hold, and we see Rimonets coming in with a triple using Dragbat. So let's see what they are going to do here and where they are going to come in from. Now, this base is actually pretty solid. It did hold a couple of times in League Wars earlier on in the day, but his luck must have ran out here because Rimonets does come in with a triple, bringing in that Ice Golem to tank here for his king and his queen. That's going to be able to get some really nice value as long as the queen goes in here. King is going to push off to this left-hand side. Not sure if that's exactly what Rimonets was looking for. Ice Golem doesn't end up freezing up too many big defenses. Baby Dragon comes in. Is this queen going to push in? Yes, she is. That's really nice, funnily able to push that queen into that compartment. Not often you see the queen going through these tiny little wall sections, but for Reminets here, it does indeed do that. Dragon's now going to be spammed in here from that bottom section of the base, dropping that Eternal Tome ability nice and early. Interestingly enough here, we're going to be pushing these dragons and balloons right against this sweeper at the top section of the base, but you can see Reminets saving that blimp for after the dragons and stuff have tested the waters. It can fly all the way overhead. We're going to drop a nice and quick rage spell there. That's going to drop everything down, and that should be enough to grab this town hall. Going to play safe there with a Yeti blimp, and the Yetimites there are going to be able to snipe off that town hall just by the skin of his teeth, able to snipe that down. Now bringing in these bats from this left hand side of the base. Notice no ice golems there. An ice golem would have been a nice play to tank for that first one, but deciding instead to bring in those free spells, and he only has that multi-target Inferno now to deal with on the back end. So let's see when he's going to drop down this free spell. Down it goes right there. That should just about be enough, even with these bats having to get through that sweeper. In fact, this is going to be tight because that multi is going to start doing some work, but the bats, luckily, there is just about enough, and that is going to be able to take out the multi. This one coming right down to the wire, nearly not quite having enough, but those bats can clutch up. They will be able to clean up this base as well for Reminets. And yeah, a really nice drag bat hit coming in there. I'm a big fan of drag bat. I love doing it myself, and Reminets with a really good example of it right there. Good use of the free spells on the back end, keeping those bats alive, and that is going to be a triple coming in. Wow. This really ends up just clutching up. The bats end up sniping down that gold storage at the end. Obviously, they do about minus 500 damage, I believe, to gold storages and any type of storages. But that is a triple nonetheless, just by the skin of his teeth, clutching it up there. Let's jump in and check out the next EYG triple. Alright, so the next attack we're going to be taking a look at does come in from Jason, who brought in 199%. Like I said, he was the one that brought in that 99% time fail. So incredibly close was Jason to grabbing in a 6-pack, but it unfortunately wasn't quite to be. He does bring in his queen now from that top section of the base. Had a sneaky goblin out there in front just to do a little bit of tanking. And then he brings in a baby dragon. Couple of these super wall breakers going to be used here to open up those compartments. Alright, that queen definitely has a nice clear path into this multi-target Inferno compartment. Testing the waters with another Cocoloon. Alright, multi-target Inferno did do a little bit of work there onto a couple of our healers, I believe, but the queen is able to take them down in time, and it looks like she is going to make her way over to this left-hand side of the base, so it means that Jason can now focus in on his hybrid pathing. I would imagine he was wanting her to walk to the left hand side, or perhaps he was wanting her to walk to the right hand side. He does still have one super wall breaker, so I wonder if he's going to use that. Yep, that's exactly what he does. He brings it in right there, and that's going to be enough to open up this scatter shot compartment, but I'm not too sure if this queen is actually going to walk into that scatter shot compartment if this funnel is created quite enough, because that king might just lure her off to this left hand side of the base. Does have to freeze up this enemy queen right there, not taking any risks on her taking our queen down, but unfortunately we are now also going to have to deal with the enemy king here, so we are definitely going to need to rage freeze, maybe drop in a headhunter. We don't have any, so he is going to need to commit another freeze spell. So both of his freeze spells that he had have now had to go down for both of these heroes. But let's see if this queen's going to step up or if she's going to step out. Alright, hybrid looks like it's going to be starting over here from this right hand side of the base, bringing in our king and our siege barracks in close proximity there. That's going to be used to create the funnel as we bring in our hybrid from this right hand side of the base. Out come those clan castle troops. That is going to do some serious work onto our king. We do need to be careful here, because that CC being lured so late on in an attack sometimes can really cause us. And this hybrid, damn, those hog riders got absolutely smoked by that town hall. The queen ends up going down, and this must really clutch up here for Jason, because this was a little bit of a rough start to his hybrid portion of the attack. He does finally drop down a poison spell there on those clan castle troops. He does have his RC ability and double rage spell here, obviously saving those rage spells. Maybe he missed the rage on his queen, probably could have done with getting him down, but we're going to rage and heal through this scatter shot on the back end. We do have a rage to try and push our RC through onto this single target Inferno, snipe that down as well. But this must end up being so incredibly close. We rage up the RC right there and the miners. That's going to be enough to take down the single, and there is enough on the back end here to just clutch up on this base. Those miners coming in clutch. The hog riders didn't get too much value. The queen definitely got a decent chunk of value. Maybe could have committed that rage spell to her to keep her alive, but it's still a nice triple coming in there from Jason using the trusty old hybrid. So let's jump in and check out one of the other hits that came in from Huts of War. Alright, so the next attack we are going to be taking a look at does come in from Sky Sword, and he is going to be bringing in another hybrid, but this time we're going to be starting it off with a blimp over here on that left hand side, dropping it straight down onto that single target Inferno, bringing in a Yeti blimp. Unfortunately, he does lose one of those Yetis to a spring trap really early on here, so maybe not going to quite be able to grab the value that he was looking for, but he does take down that single target Inferno there on the left hand side, which is exactly what he was looking for, so he can now push in his queen without having to commit too many free spells. Alright, so he brings in the first super wall breaker there. Not too sure why he brought that in, it was always going to path there. Kokoloon is successful though, brings in a wizard just to help that funnel that queen. Second super wall breaker goes to the other storage, so the double super wall breaker there pretty much getting zero value unfortunately here for Sky Sword, but we're going to be able to push that queen right into the town hall compartment here. Gonna snipe that down. In comes a loon from that bottom section of the base. Does have a lot to deal with here in this town hall compartment. Double expo, we've got the scatter shot and a multi, couple of skeletons shooting down as well, so we do have to commit another rage spell here to try and keep our queen alive. King now going to be coming in from that top section of the base. We've got the rage down on the queen to keep her alive. Hybrid starting very early on in this attack from that top section of the base. Multi-target Inferno going to be slowly chipping away at our troops. We drop down we don't drop down. Wow, he's saving this heal spell for pretty late on. We decide actually to pop our Grand Warden ability right there. We did have to deal with that tornado trap pretty early on, and he loses his queen even through her ability in the middle of those base. Those clan castle troops are such a nuisance, so he commits the poison and double free spell to keep those super minions there and to grab those, or to take those down. He's not got too much left up here on the back end. The giant bomb and single target Inferno finish off a couple of hog raiders that were on our scatter shot, so it looks like it is going to be up to the RC and the few hogs and miners that are remaining to clutch up here for Sky Sword on the back end. He's got a wizard doing a little bit of work over here on that right hand side. We do have the healers transfer over from that queen onto our hogs and miners, which is most certainly going to come in helpful, at least bring them up ever so slightly on their health. There is the RC ability over here on that right hand side of the base. That's going to bring or looked like it was potentially going to bring a few troops into the scatter shot in the middle, but unfortunately these miners are pathing everywhere around the base, not really clutching up here and going in to that scatter. But if we speed this up, there is definitely going to be enough. That's there's a couple of miners there, and along with the world champion, the scatter shot goes down, and this one finishes up with a triple. Dad's base goes down, and Sky Sword gets a pretty nice triple for Huts of War. So let's jump in and check out the next EYG attack. Alright, so we just saw Sky Sword bringing in that triple, but now we're going to see Hertha coming in and absolutely annihilating his base. Hertha brings in a Lava Hound right there. Oh, unfortunately that hound doesn't quite catch the Seeking Air Mines, but we bring in the Super Wizard Blimp. Now this has been absolutely dominating in the meta right now. These invisibility spells are so interesting. They only really seem to be used in effect with these super wizards, but we get an insane amount of value there from that Wimp, as I call it, or a Blizzard as other people call it. That name I think is still up for consideration, but we now bring in our Sui from this left hand side of the base. You can see the fact that we did bring in that blimp, it's created a really nice path here for our Sui to push right in, hopefully to that scatter shot compartment. Bringing in 3 super wall breakers is going to give our king, queen, and this baby dragon that seems to be sneaking its way in as well access into the scatter shot compartment. Should be able to take it down, grab the enemy queen as well, and maybe a couple of these other defenses. But this Sui so far looking really good here from Hertha. Going to drop that king ability right there to help him through the enemy queen. Unfortunately, he doesn't have another super wall breaker, so the king's going to have to try and beat through the wall here. He decides to drop the invisibility spell down on his king and his queen. Oh, and that's going to mean that we're going to lose our RC to the enemy king here. Not at all, I imagine, what Hertha was looking for. Definitely could have done with maybe keeping that RC alive, grabbing the single target Inferno, maybe a few other of these other defenses, but he's now going to be starting with his Lalo from that top section of the base. And because of that invisibility spell going down, it nearly costed him in this attack. Damn, alright, so his hybrid going to continue pushing on through. Not too much of the base left to take down. A really nice use of that Eternal Tome ability, catching quite a few of these balloons, freezing up that multi-target Inferno here on the back end, hasting all these balloons straight on through. There's the tornado trap. Not the best time to catch that tornado trap, but Hertha does still have enough here to bring in this triple. Only a couple of defenses left up, so we will just speed this up. You can see he swags a couple of spells cheekily down in the middle of the base, and that is a really, really nice triple coming in from Hertha again of Brian Fan Club. The BFC boys coming in clutch in this war in EYG. So without any further ado, we'll jump over, I believe, and check out the 4th, or is it 5th? I can't remember, I'm losing track. Triple from Huts of War. Alright, so we've got Hemi coming in against Sloptar on this next one. They're going to be coming in with a Yeti Bowler Smash. We have got double Quad Quake coming in here. First of those Quad Quakes starting at this top section of the base. Maybe could have got a little bit more value there. We're going to be using the rest of them to open up that middle section of the base. 8 spells gone already, but we get a really good portion of the base opened up here, and all of these defenses going to be really weakened up by those Earthquake spells. King going to be used to funnel on the top section, and we've got that Siege Barracks coming in from that right hand side of the base. Now going to spam in all of these Yetis. We're going to bring in those bowlers behind. We've only got 2 rage and 1 free spell to try and push our troops in to this base. So let's see how far they're going to be able to push on through, and if they can bring in this triple. Alright, so it looks like he maybe forgot a little bit about his warden. He does bring that in slightly later than I probably would have done on my attack, but it does go in there, and we will of course need to use that Eternal Tome ability, and that's going to be enough to take down that Town Hall and allow these bowlers to survive the Giga Bomb. Last of the rage spells goes down in the middle of the base for the Yetis, for those bowlers. Unfortunately, we get quite a lot of them pushing over to this right hand side, and that one super minion is sitting, eating up these Yetis hit points. We do also have that Scattershot to try and deal with on that left hand side. We're going to see our Queen get 1, 2, the warden actually ends up finishing up that super minion. We get the Queen kind of splitting off from the rest of our troops. Still got a decent group of these bowlers alive, but unfortunately that Scattershot does 2-shot them right there. RC pushing her way along the bottom section of the base. Our Queen right there in the middle, she's doing some really good work with her ability still in hand as well. That is going to be plenty to clean up. We've got Valkyries, which I would assume came out of that Siege Barracks. They're going to be clutching up here at the bottom section of the base, and this is going to end up being a pretty tight triple here coming in from Hemi3 probably butchering that name, man, definitely butchering that name, but he's got a Yeti, a couple of Valkyries, he's got his Grand Warden, this one healer keeping that Warden alive, and this ends up being a really, really clutch triple coming in from Huts of War. Wow, this one is very, very close here on the back end. Does this Warden end up going down? He does go down. This must be insanely close. These Valkyries clutch up. The Valkyries end up clutching up this attack. Those healers trying to keep them alive, and they do just do enough. Wow. That one healer keeping these 2 Valkyries alive is just enough to bring in that triple against Sloptar. One of the clutchest triples I've seen in a little while. Nicely done though from Hemi. Does bring in that 3-star for his team. So we've still got 2 attacks left in this war. We've got 1 from Huts of War and 1 from EYG. So let's jump in and check those ones out right now. Alright, so here we go. This is Russ's second triple in this war. He was of course the only one to bring in a 6-pack for either team, I believe. And he does start off with a couple of loons over here on that left hand side. He brings in a sneaky goblin and a baby dragon as well to start helping create that funnel. Double minion coming in on that left hand side. That's going to be used to funnel this queen into the multi-target infernal compartment. Kohulun going out in front, testing the water for any of those seeking air mines. He does have a rage spell, which I would assume he's going to need to deploy relatively quickly. Yep, it's going to go down right there. He does get a successful Kohulun coming in, catching a couple of seeking air mines. Second super wall breaker going to come in right there, gives this queen access into the town hall compartment. So the queen's got a really clear path here to make her way all the way through, and you can see why Russ is looking to use hybrid on this base. I mean, this is absolutely screaming to use hybrid. There is these clear set channels on the base. The queen's going to clear out one of them. The king and the siege barracks will clear out, I would assume, the right hand side, and then we're going to get the hybrid pushing right the way through from the first scatter shot to the last scatter shot down here at the bottom of the base. But the queen charge here for Russ looking really, really good so far. Going to push her into this town hall compartment. We'll need to rage up right there because we're going to have a lot to deal with. The enemy RC, the town hall, but you can see we now start off with our hybrid from the top section of the base. King and the siege barracks going to be coming in there. Interestingly enough, he decides to use a super wall breaker to open up this compartment. That's maybe to push the king in. He's going to drop that king ability just to speed along and really smash through this right hand compartment to keep these hogs and miners really clumped together so we can get maximum value from the heal spells. Going to drop that Grand Warden ability right there. That's going to catch just about every single one of our hogs and our miners. Queen does have to go to her ability over here on that left hand side of the base. We do have a heal spell, a freeze spell left up, which can be used on this single target Inferno if we want. RC does still have her ability in hand. Out come those Hog Riders from the siege barracks really late on in this attack, but they're going to act just as a little bit of backup here. I think even without them, we could have swagged them completely because this base is absolutely crushed. One of the strongest hits of this war comes in from Russ. That first hit from him was the Queen Charge Hog Rider attack. Then we get a beautiful beautiful hybrid here. And yeah, two absolutely sensational attacks coming in from Russ, swagging that RC ability. Very nicely done. So we've got one attack left, which is the last triple from Huts of War. So we'll jump in and we will check that one out. Alright, so the last attack of this war does come in from a sick against a big house, coming in with yet another hybrid, starting off with a couple of loons over here on that right hand side of the base, bringing in a baby dragon as well. Queen going to be starting by making her way in from the top section. In comes a Yeti and a double wizard on that left hand side to help create that funnel. Kokoloon coming in, testing the waters for any of those black bombs. Definitely don't want them to get onto our healers. That certainly can cause a few issues. Alright, in comes that super wall breaker. Gonna open up that compartment. Looks like a 6, maybe not too sure where exactly he's looking for this queen to go in. He's had two super wall breakers coming in. One to open up this compartment, one to open up this compartment. He does smartly bring in a headhunter. That's going to allow this queen to get through the king relatively quickly without taking too much damage. Does use a couple of balloons, a couple of hog riders there to pull out the clan castle troops. Will need to, he decides to freeze up those headhunters rather than poisoning. He's then going to drop the poison spell down on those super minions just to avoid taking too much damage from them. Unfortunately, he does have those eagle artillery shots raining down at the same time, so he does have to commit yet another one of those rage spells. He then decides he's going to have to pop that queen ability, not taking any gambles with the scat shot and the super minion's still alive right there. Air defense absolutely going to town on these healers, and suddenly as the dust settles he has no healers left. Those eagle shots certainly did a number on our queen charge, and the air defense picked them off very quickly. But again, as with some of the other Huts of War's attack, you can see it's going to be up to the hybrid here to clutch up and bring this one home. Pushing pretty quickly through on the back end of this attack. I'm getting Twitch notifications because, you know, I like to follow some different streamers. If you guys are interested in following me on Twitch, twitch.tv/clashwithstyle, I stream on a pretty regular basis. You'll find I stream mainly competitive League Wars. Sometimes I do some attacks myself. But anyway, focusing back in on this attack, we've got a sick cleaning up quite nicely here on the back end. Gonna throw down that RC ability in the middle of the base, trying to get some decent value from her. Still got a large group here of Hog Riders. They're going to be able to do a little bit of cleanup on some of these defenses on the back end as the miners swing their way around. The RC is going to end up going down, not before she gets a couple shots off here on that wizard tower. Hog Riders do get a little bit of a split there. Going to catch a giant bomb, but there is just enough here on the back end of this attack. The Hog Riders end up clutching up. They're going to take down that bomb tower as the miners finish cleaning up around that left hand side of the base, and it's a really nice hit here from a sick to finish things off up in this video. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed this Blitzkrieg war. If you enjoy this type of content, let me know down in the comments. Also let me know if you've been enjoying all these strategy videos I'm doing. I've been trying to do a couple different strategy videos recently, and yeah, hopefully you guys have been enjoying that. But until the next video, whenever that is, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.